Right, morning all, or good afternoon. Thursday, it looks like it's going to lash down with rain, and I'm doing one of those jobs that I'm not really struck on, but it's got to be done, and it's basically to reduce the piles. My beans took a bit of a hit. My runner beans took a hit with the old storm. As you can see, I've had to prop them up. I can't get any 8-foot canes, just impossible to get, but there you go. I'll zoom back out and I'll turn my ugly mug around in a minute. And this is a riddle I made this some time ago, and I riddled the top end of the garden when I cleared the path off. So this is a pile I've already been through once. As you can see, I scrape it with my hands, put it on the riddle here, and I get some, fairly reasonable bits and pieces which will dig in to the garden. So hopefully I'll reduce this pile. This is the waste pile again, which may get burnt, but you see, it's just like everything else. Those piles over there are still fairly green and still very wet because of the rain. And as I says, I'll walk you up the garden. As I says, I think we're about the 27th of August, I think, something like that. Yeah, 27. As you can see, I've been starting to weed this again. I may be taking these brambles or berry fruits out because I haven't trained them. I haven't trained them anywhere. Not that they need training, but my cabbage and potatoes. Potatoes are looking a bit sad again, but I've just made inroads into cleaning the back of the shed, which is a nothing job. But as you can see, the rubbish comes out, and this is a big pile which will go through the riddle. And then up here, as you can see, I've cleaned this path out here because this is how deep, and when you can see that, that's how deep that is, 8 to 12 inches. And then this is just somebody's putting junk on the fence, and then I'll step up, pardon my manners. So this has all got to be scraped out. It's a nothing job, doesn't achieve anything, but as I said, I'm still raking this out. Another fence repair, and then I'll put this through the riddle as well, because there's some bits and pieces in there, sorry, to scrape out. I finished digging this section here, and basically what a riddle now will just be thrown on the top to rot down. It won't be so much dug in. Anyway, ruffling a bit. There you go. I've been making some staging for the greenhouse out of old bits and pieces of timber, which you can see here. Some old posts, bits of pallet wood. So I've got a 2-metre section there, 3, which I will put on this side here. When I get some laths, which I'll have to buy. That weed killer works well on the old brambles, as you can see. Still uncertain about whether they do the mare's tail, but it's dying back, that mare's tail. I'll give that a spray. So there you go, and I've been going around with my magic spray. Just hang on a second. So this is a bottle which I've modified. Cut the bottom out, put a spray hole in there. So I can put that over some brambles, let's say. Let's just pop, well, I won't put it there, let's say just pop it over there, and then I'll spray through the hole, and I've not got no spray runoff mist. So I'm attacking brambles, nothing else. This has been pretty good from the allotment society. I'll just literally pop it over the bramble and spray through the hole, then it doesn't drift onto any other plants and whatever. There you go. So back to riddling. Cheers. Well, that's fire going. A bit of smoke to start with, but I formed the fire up and making sections, and then putting some of the foliage in there so that it will burn. And now that will burn down now, and I'm happy with that. It's a bit windy, so I'm going to keep flicking the camera off and on, and I'll go to the next plot. Cheers. This was a large pile which I've riddled through, sorry. And as you can see, it's greatly reduced, and that's the pile that I'm burning. I've burnt at least half that amount in the fire. I won't make another fire now because the weather, it was raining a little bit. That's when I start lighting the fires, so that when I start putting more foliage here, we're not getting swamped with it. So that will be a fire one day, and we'll move on to that. Everything else is still, my tomatoes took a battering, but I'm checking them around, they still seem okay, same as the leeks. Anyway, so then what happens is, I took about 3 barrel loads of so-called soil, or leaves, whatever you can see, and these are the piles. I've spread some across the other ground over there, 2 barrel loads over there, and this is a barrel load, a good barrel load here and here, and this is from the area which is up by the shed. As you can see, that bloody big oak tree, it does shed some leaves, so had a big pile here which has been reduced to that, and basically it's scraping out the soil, scraping out the shed base here. Very windy, that's why I've got my hand over this. So I've got 2 barrel loads out of that, and a little bit more that could go in the composting bin and probably break down a bit more. Then the other detritus and stuff can go. So there you go. So I end up with lots of little piles. Anyway, cheers folks. Oh, excuse me. This is my little cleaned up space. It's not brilliant yet at the moment. It's getting there slowly. I'm cleaning the back here. As you can see, it's just a bit of a minefield. A few other bits to take out. Evidently that should be alright, it's not my stuff here, but as you can see, I don't know whether it was Steve before or whatever, but he used to just dump his plastic bags up here of everything and anything, and of course over the years it's just got bigger and bigger, and there's plastic bags everywhere, and I've clept up quite a few, but I've cleared this out here, which allows a bit of air under the shed. And I've riddled all this soil out of it, well, soil and stuff, as you can see. These are the bags, and there's bags of like weeds and stuff, but I'll go through the riddle, on top of the riddle, and then eventually I've got some scrap for the scrap man. The wind's picked up a bit, and I've got these piles down here. I like piles, as you know, so these are my piles, and so this is all being riddled from around the back. So I'll put them on here, they'll be eventually spread round and dug round. And 4 or 5 barrel loads so far. As you say, my rubbish has gone down, so I won't repeat that. My apples are still like clinging on. Still a few on the floor I haven't picked up. I usually pick them up to stop any more damage. I did try a couple of coxes, as you probably noticed, and they were quite nice, but they're still a bit, need another few weeks. But the branches are very heavy with apples, so they will have a trim back at the end of the year, and I'll try and find out how to protect the apples a bit more from damage from various pests and stuff, because you say some of them got holes and stuff in there. I don't know what grows in there. The caterpillars or some sort of whatever. My beans have took a bashing, as you know, so a lot of them are going to die back, and that's about it. Anyway, another day, another dollar. A bit more cleaning up and stuff, but I got a good burn on yesterday, so that was good. And nice to get rid of that pile today, but this is the way it goes. It's a constant battle, and if you just leave it for a couple of days, you're forever fighting it. That pile burnt down quite well, so I can make another decent fire out of this stuff here, and then I can pack all the garbage inside the middle of it, if you understand, and it eventually burns down. So there you go, windy day. There you go, the toilet's still got to fit. There you go, happy days folks, hope everyone's doing well. Catch you all again soon. Oh, good morning all. Sunday. Not very well last night, but that's neither here or there. Not much doing today, but I've cleared the back of the shed, which you can see. There's the water butt. Definitely there was something going on here. I don't know what it was. I'm not doing nothing else. And I've cleared out down to there. So there's a bit of wind coming down through here. Ooh. You can see I'm prepared. A bit of wind. I'm just going to sort out this here. The wind's just got up a little bit. Let me just trim back my potatoes. Knocked all the tops off them because some of them are over 3 foot long. I think there's a couple of rows of King Edwards here and 3 rows of Desiree, but they'll be alright in the ground for a bit. If I felt any better, I'd do a bit of weeding through them, just to take some of the weeding out for when I dig out the spuds, but they'll stop there for a little bit longer, as you can see. Here's my homemade riddle. It's been a godsend. I've got the stuff under the barrow to wriggle through, and that's the wriggled mount there. That'll go down somewhere, and then all this stuff that's from the back of the shed and whatever is all going to be moved down, and then eventually recycled or scrapped. Some of the plastic bags and stuff. There's dozens of them, but there you see, little bits and pieces still to do. Might have a little sort of the cabbage later. I mean, the moths, the caterpillars have had a good whack at them. There's not much left of those, and the new ones that I've put in, well, one or two leaves, and these are the piles that I'll be using. I'll put them in a couple of these bigger piles to move them about a bit to somewhere else. Yeah, that knob's a bit sticky there. There you go. You can see the wasps having a good old feast at those. So, yeah. Got to pick the apples up as well. That's another thing. But yeah, there's not many coxes left. There's 1 or 2 coxes look quite okay, you know, tucked away there, but there's not so many coxes. They're tending to drop off the tree. There's plenty of golden delicious. Still quite a few ones that might come away okay. Sorry about this, you've seen all this before. My pile was shifted over there, but I've moved the call it the weeding area. The weeding's gone over that side. I'm going to try and eventually bag some of this up and put it in the dustbin, because you can do that. And then some of the other stuff, which is more of the root type stuff from the brambles, I'll try and dry out and burn some of that, but that looks like it's going to be a bit of a pain. But I did clear this off, and that's where I found the newt under the log here. There you go folks, sunny day, still a bit chilly. Cheers all. Some rough looking, sorry about the wind, some rough looking clouds coming through. It's quite nice in the sun, a little bit of wind, but generally speaking it's not too bad. Yeah.